o'clock. Hey everyone. Samara here, keeping it real estate. It's nice to be back. I just got back from a nice little whirlwind travel from Switzerland. You guys saw me broadcast remotely because I need to make sure I keep it real estate all the time. So now we are back on US time, territory. And as much as I love the view of the Alps and all the beautiful things that are there, nothing beats Jersey real estate, right? Tri-state area real estate. All right, you guys know how it works. I get you on here, you get me for 15 minutes. Q&A questions, anything that pops up on the screen, I answer it. I still have a queue full of questions that we have got from DMs that we respond to that we think that are useful for you guys, hopefully spread some knowledge and help you through the process of this beautiful, beautiful navigation of the real estate market, because that's what we do. And we usually try to get all within 15 minutes. We hit you with the buyers, with the seller's question, with a investor question. And if you have a little time, we do some rapid fire just to kind of get through a couple more questions and answer them quickly as possible. Thank you guys for locking in, for jumping in, checking out the content. Thank you guys for the feedback that you left me from last week. Some great tidbits and some great follow-up questions. So I love getting those out of the way. You can jump right into it because it's only 7 o'clock. And this is just too fun because before we know it, 15 minutes is over and I want to tell you guys so many more things. But thanks for locking in. We'll start with our buyers. Our buyer question that I have, it's actually right and timely. I need my buyers to breathe. Okay, breathe guys, breathe. Question is, my lender offered me an ARM. Is that smart or should I stick to a fixed rate loan? Now, let me rewind just a little bit because some of you guys are like, an ARM. What does that even mean? So it's an adjustable rate mortgage, and there is pluses or minuses to answer this question, okay? And the reason why I say that is because people would offer an ARM because of the fact that it might offer lower rates in the beginning to be able to make sure that you guys have a lower cost, right? So this might work for you guys if you already know that you're going to be leaving before that adjustable rate market hits, right? Because you can be surprised come year 5-7 when the rates change drastically and before you know you're doubling your monthly payments, all right? Fixed rate, most people usually stay in their home between 5 to 7 years. So if you plan on staying that long and the ARM is not a actual timeline that works for you guys, and that's not the one for you. All right, so there's a lot of different moving parts when you consider an adjustable rate mortgage, because if you're going to be leaving soon, that might work for people that are in military because they're only there for a couple of years. It might work for somebody who is, short-term staying. They know where they're living, they're traveling, it's a relocation. That is some rare scenarios in which that might work for you guys. But overall, if you're not sure, if you're definitely going to be gone in 5 to 7 years because life be lifing, have extra kids, you love the neighborhood, all your doctors are there, and you just never want to leave, right? So that would be an instance in which you probably would want the peace of mind. So my take on that is probably fixed rate. Think through your strategy, but make sure that aligns with what you need and your numbers make sense, all right? So that's the take on that. As much fun as it is to predict the future, our crystal balls don't always work, so we do the best we can. We're trying to balance out and leverage and hedge our bets to make sure life is manageable, right? I don't like surprises. So 5 years, you get this big, huge, hey, here's your new mortgage, guys. It can be really scary. So make sure you know it. Or you can have extra strategy to plan to refi before it even hits. That's another option. But again, make sure you have an extra strategy if you go that route. All right, thanks for jumping on. Good to see you. All right, so that's my buyer's question. Guys, thank you for bringing that up because I think in today's climate, there's a lot of uncertainty around the rates, and with them being so volatile the way they are, sometimes the best option is to try to take something that's a little bit more comfortable and fluid and fixed. So keep those things in mind, a little bit more stability, or layer in that extra strategy. All right, my sellers, what do we got for me? Oh, okay, this is good. I inherited a property and want to sell it. Where do I begin? And do I need to fix it up first? Now, this is very timely because a girlfriend of mine just had me do a walkthrough at her property because she just inherited a home. Her family inherited a home. There's a lot of different moving parts, guys, when it comes to the asset of an inherited homes, and there's some certain steps you want to make sure you keep in mind. So step one, you want to make sure that it is already gone through probate and that you actually have a legal right to sell it. Otherwise, nobody can do anything with it. So you should make sure that you are through that part of the process, right? So step one, make sure you have a clear title, make sure you've gone through the probate prospects, and make sure it's transferable. And a lot of times you have an attorney that helps with the estate, or you can do it through the courts. So it's definitely something that we can navigate through. So if you have questions on that, follow up, give me a call. We can help you with that too. Another part is when you're taking an inherited property, you want to make sure you understand the property. All right. Now there's a lot of different moving parts when it comes to that, because you want to know what the condition is. How does it look? Is it need updates? Is it in bad shape? Is there back taxes? Are there violations? Like, these are all key components that can eat away at your bottom line if you're not aware of these things. So there's definitely that part of step two, understand the property, right? So understand what you're getting into, and we can help you with that walkthrough that we do, just to give you guys updates and suggestions and tips and things to kind of keep in mind. And I think the third most important thing really is know the goal, right? So when you're dealing with family after loss, everybody has a different mindset, right? So you want to make sure that you're all aligned on what the goal is. Is the goal to move the property quickly? Is the goal to make sure that you can maximize your profit, right? How much you can make off the house? Or do you need to sell it as it is and just be done with it, right? So those are things to keep in mind, because that will dictate how we help you guys navigate getting the right resources in there to do the flooring, the paint. Does the estate even have a bandwidth to do that? Or is a family member gonna pay the cost for that? Or do you need to partner with an investor? So knowing what the goal is will help us identify what our strategy is gonna be, right? Do we go right to the MLS because it's marketable, it's in good shape, it's good to go? Do we need to consider off-market deals because it's in disrepair and it's gonna be 100% as is? Do I need to call up my investors and say, hey, there's a house over here, they're just looking to clear this X, Y, and Z, and they wanna let it go quickly and needs tons of love? Those are all different things that we can keep in mind, and us being well versed in this type of atmosphere, we're here to help you navigate it, right? So again, a lot of moving parts. People aren't always thinking really clearly, but being able to outline things that are important and actually convey the property can help you guys in the long term. So those are my biggies, and it's a really good question because, you know, it's a lot because you just had a loss, and then you have to learn how to do all these things. And if you have been issued as the administrator, that's funny. People want to call me. You're not asking me a question live. Love it. But ultimately, those are things you want to keep in mind, because selling a home that's inherited comes with a lot of emotion and a lot of dust, and being able to navigate what the goals are as a family, as an estate, and be able to get through it. So you guys can give me a call. This is what I do. I'm very good at it. All things with the heart, especially when it comes to like family oriented things and probates and divorce, and plenty of people we've navigated this process, right? So it does matter, and it does help in people that actually care. So call me, DM me if you have questions about that. My girl, we're gonna help her out because they already got that on my list, and I'm there for you guys. So I'm looking forward to helping you guys navigate all of it. Hopefully that answered your question. Yes, I like it. Thumbs up. Okay, good. All right, that's my seller question. So we can move on to cover some investor questions. All right, now these are fun because I feel like there's different variations of the questions that I get from my first time investors. A lot of times you guys ask some questions in different ways because I think you're trying to process the best way to approach it. So thank you for that. And I think sometimes people hearing it different ways is helpful too. The question that I have here, it looks like it's from a new investor. It says, is it better to start with a single family rental or go straight to multifamily? Now that's definitely a strategy play, and I can give you some pros and cons of both. Being an investor myself and actually having investment pieces that, you know, we're looking for investors on, and for other things that we're trying to partner on. If you're interested in something like that too, definitely DM me. We can help you with that. But when you're looking at a single family, I mean, their pros is that you can use the FHA, you can get there quickly. You know, we talked about house hacking, where you can live in one, possibly do the other. There's more tenant demand sometimes in certain areas, and it's easier to sell later sometimes, right? Because people can leverage it as a asset for regular residential, or somebody else who wants to invest in it and flip it, right? So multifamily pros, there's so many pros to multifamily. There is, for sure. Multiple streams of income is my favorite, because at one point, one vacancy is not going to kill you, right? So the flip side to that is that if you have a single family and it's vacant, you're still paying expenses on that property. Like, expenses are still got to be paid. Like, there's still bills that are due. Whereas if you have multiple units, even if one is vacant, you're still getting rents from the other ones. Hopefully, unless you're not managing the property correctly. We'll talk about that next. And we have multifamily, there's a potential for house hacking, right? So you keep all those things in mind when you're thinking about the multifamily aspect of it, because I feel like there's a lot of different moving parts. So it's kind of cool watching how it moves. You know, usually they're good on cash returns for multifamily because you have those outs, right? So keep those things in mind. I think what you really need to ask yourself when you start evaluating whether you want to do a single family or multifamily right out the gate is, are you ready to be a landlord? Right? Can you manage more than one property at a time? Are you familiar with it, or do you plan on just hiring a property management company out the gate? If you need some extra suggestions, obviously, you know, I have a company that does the same thing, so we can help you leverage that and navigate that process. But those are things you really want to ask yourself, because if you're not ready to be a landlord, don't raise your hand, because sometimes you get great tenants. Sometimes you're like, I vetted them fully and somehow it's still a mess. So keep all those things in mind when you're thinking about like multiple tenants versus just one you got to worry about, right? Other thing you want to worry about too, if you're handy. I know we talked about hiring a property management company. They can help you with that. But if you're trying to do it all by yourself without paying a management company, then you need to say, are you handy? Are you really versed and ready for that 1 a.m. phone call because the stove's not working or whatever the situation may be? So my overall take, while multifamily sounds sexy, residential has some foundation and some stability. So if you're doing it for the first time without feeling overwhelmed, maybe you start a little bit smaller and you watch the growth and then you get comfortable and you keep moving. So different ways you can take that in terms of building your portfolio and making it happen for yourself. All right, how are we doing on time, guys? Oh my gosh, time flies because it's already 7:12. I wanted to hit a couple of breakout sessions because we did get hit with quite a few questions, which is great. And I'm going to do a quick little lightning round. So quick little tidbits. If you need more additional information on these, hit me up, DM me. We'll give you some more details. But first question, should I wait until after the election to buy or sell? Guys, this is crazy. Traditionally, I noticed that the residential market does slow down a little bit before an election, but it usually picks back up immediately. So timing needs to align for you, what makes sense for you. Don't let the White House determine what you're going to do with your house. Just saying. Some of y'all already get that, which is real. The right time ultimately is going to be when your numbers make sense, right? So when the deal makes sense, when you're aligned with your funding and your cash flow, you're going to be in a much, much better situation. So keep those things in mind. Hey, thanks for jumping on. I love when you guys jump on. Another quick lightning round. I got a really good question because they asked it differently in regards to why are Zillow estimates not real? So I've already explained to you guys that the realtors love to hate Zillow, but it does have a purpose. There are some good things about it, but a lot of times what I need to stress is that the reason that it's not perfect and always right is because it's just an algorithm. They haven't been inside your house. They don't see the updates. They don't know what you've been putting into it. They don't know if it's a dead end or a cul-de-sac, where they might be able to like geo guard it, but ultimately they're not able to get inside. That's why you want a licensed professional to be able to give you guys an actual estimate. And the quick answer is Zillow is great for window shopping, right? Just, you know, be able to see other properties that are available on the market, possibly see what things you might be missing, and leverage something as a benchmark or like a range, a really wide range when you look at their numbers, but not to actually price your biggest asset. All right, so keep that in mind. Another quick round. Can I rent out my primary property and still qualify for a residence on another? So this is a tricky question, guys, because at the end of the day, nobody wants to go to jail for fraud. So you want to make sure that if the loophole aligns for you, meaning you lived in the property for over 12 months, looking at the Fannie Mae rules, and then making sure you talk to your lender regarding what actually is allowable. So if like you have a job and you immediately have to move quickly, or your family grows exponentially overnight because you adopted and took on extra bodies, those are possible areas in which you are able to use that loophole and do those things. Hey, thanks for jumping on. So keep that in mind, because ultimately, if you say you live there and never do, and they find out, it can end up being worse for you in the end. So just make sure you just follow the rules. There are loopholes, there are things you can navigate, and ultimately leverage everything possible to be able to get you in a property, whether it be your primary or your secondary, and how that works for you. So if you have questions, DM, you have great lenders that can actually talk through this. You can pick their brain. I know my lenders are out there watching because I throw you guys out there all the time. Pick their brain, they're your people. We got you. All right. All right. Last question I think we have time for. We're about to hit that 7:15 mark. I just love real estate. Can you guys tell? Love this stuff. All right, so the difference between earnest money and down payment. Now that's a really good question. All right, so think of it this way. The earnest money is basically consideration. So whenever you have a contract, you'll be able to offer up money to make it real, right? So it's your consideration, it's the deposit that you put in when you send your offer over. And when you have your down payment, that's the portion of the purchase that goes at closing, whether it's the 3%, the 20%, whatever we're doing as far as the down payment goes. And that comes at closing. And keep in mind, the bonus tip is that earnest money can count towards your deposit money when it comes to the closing line. All right, so keep those things in mind. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. I love it. I love it. It's like I said, Swiss Alps are great. Lakes are great. Love Europe. Almost didn't want to come back, but real estate, man, Jersey real estate, tri-state area real estate, all things real estate. We got you. I love it. So that's it. That's a nutshell. So we are already 15 minutes, a little bit over because, I love this stuff and I can't help myself. But thank you guys for locking in. Thank you guys for the feedback from the last couple of sessions. If you guys ever need a replay, I record them. I also post them. Check out the YouTube page. There's more. The local loves are on Friday and the tidbits we fill you in during the week. So guys have questions. I'm your girl. Always here for you. Keeping it real estate. Keeping it real, all things estate. All right, guys, take care. Thank you very, very much for locking in, and I hope to see you all next Monday at 7 p.m. live.